Welcome into the Jordy Culotta Show. Wave your hand out there, baby!
Shout out to the show.
She puts the pinky into the nostril. Man, look at that.
Healthy competition, there's nothing like it.
Y'all grow up.
The line's wrapped around the stadium.
Different strengths. Mm-hmm. I just lost a tooth.
It's going to be fun.
You know, we might have a story.
I love what you're doing.
Ogeron wants to take us fishing this afternoon.
Sharif, you play for the bad boys of the SEC, man. We don't apologize to anybody.
But a lot of people are saying you're going to be wearing number 7.
I don't really know. I want to.
He look crazy, Bill. Good feet on the old man.
Definitely come back.
We'll be right back with the Jordy Culotta Show. Welcome into a Tuesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet, just like we are every single day here. Remember, hit that like button, share button, comment button on this Tuesday. If you have not already subscribed to the YouTube station, go ahead and hit that subscription. If you don't mind, we got a jam-packed show. We got guests all over the place. Tayvion Galloway, big tight end from up north, is going to stop by here in a couple of minutes before he makes his way into school. He was in town this past weekend for an official visit. He was down for the Ole Miss game. We'll talk to him about his experience down in Baton Rouge. We'll also talk to him about his recruiting and what's going on for him here during his junior season, as he'll stop by here in the next couple of minutes. You heard from Gordon McKernan last week, and Gordon told us a big initiative that they have raising money around all of their NIL players built on big plays. Alex Ludwig, who handles the marketing and promotion over at Gordon's law firm, and also heads up the marketing and promotion for the NIL athletes, is going to stop by here at 8:30 this morning and tell us how much money they raised this past weekend and what constitutes a big play for all of these donations that were made over the weekend. Ross Dellenger will be here talking college football at 8:15 this morning in the second hour, and at 8 a.m. this morning, LSU head basketball coach Matt McMahon will be through the studio, as he will stop in over here at FM Digital Studios and tell us about practice and what it's like going through the process of building his team and getting ready for the regular season. As always, hit that like button, share button, comment button. Daily, we're brought to you by Go Chevrolet. Our phone line's brought to you by Metropolitan Health Group. Real doctors, real solutions. If you listened to yesterday's show, if you haven't already, go back and check it out on YouTube. Our first hour, always on Mondays, brought to you by Bayou Carlin Oyster Company. Get in touch with Bayou Carlin Oyster Company online at BayouCarlinOysterCo.com. All right, so
to the internet, leave Coach Caskill in. Let him play the clips. Let him play just trying to give the people some tape out there.
So what's the deal?
Flagging us. I don't know who it is, but
they get us every week.
They get us every week.
Every week.
We just try. I mean, I see it everywhere. We're the ones that are catching a stray. Just trying to educate the people. That's all we're trying to do.
But it's all good, right?
It's all good. But, temporarily went down for a second. Had to go break. Got back. Just trying to give people some LSU love.
Speaking of LSU love, they're getting a lot from the SEC offices, as the Tigers had 3 players named SEC Players of the Week for their performance in Saturday's win over number 7 Ole Miss. Jaden Daniels picked up the SEC Offensive Player of the Week. Defensive tackle Mekhi Wingo was named the SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week, and Harold Perkins was named the SEC Freshman of the Week. So a huge Saturday for the Tigers, as they were recognized, and a lot of the respect that we always and everyone are always looking for around here for LSU, especially out of the Birmingham offices over with the Southeastern Conference. A lot of love for LSU on Monday, as the SEC, the conference awards, were given out for the weekly honors. Mekhi Wingo is a guy that has been not necessarily lost in the shuffle, but he has been not talked about enough, in my opinion, when you talk about the production of this team. I think Wingo, Wingo was a guy that was expected to be a piece on this team that was going to add some key depth to the defensive line. Watch out for Galloway here because he's going to be hopping on pretty early before we can get him out of here for school. You got him?
School? No.
But Mekhi Wingo, he came through here in the offseason, and actually we've confirmed he's going to be here Thursday morning for a second-hour interview that we're really looking forward to and talking to him about, his first year here in Baton Rouge. He's a sophomore. He was an all-SEC freshman player at Missouri last season. Over the weekend, he had 7 tackles. He had a sack and a half. He forced a fumble. He batted down a couple of passes. And he was after the quarterback all day. And Wingo, of course, is taking the spot that Mason Smith left open after his just freak injury. One that you look back on, it's just crazy to think that you lost him in the second defensive drive of the season while he was celebrating a play that he had just made, and you lose him for a year. And for a lot of people in that moment, I'd imagine around the team, on the bench that was watching the game, Jamar Cain and the defensive staff were probably, that's probably one of the lowest, darkest moments of the year. But to see the way that Mekhi Wingo has stepped in and filled that void and the consistent play that he has given LSU week in, week out, I think it's not talked about enough for sure, definitely on this show. And really looking forward to getting Mekhi in here on Thursday morning just to, really kind of show him the love that he really deserves, but more get, into his head on, being just thrown in there after the first game, becoming a permanent starter, and what it's like, playing inside this defense right now that is to me has been the most consistent piece of the season all year long. They had some highs, they've had some lows, but for the most part, they've been producing at a very, very steady, efficient, consistent pace, and a lot of that is being able to adjust within the game. The most impressive part about House and his defensive staff, hell, Kelly and the entire staff really, is their ability to adjust and coach within the game, to me, has been really one of the most impressive things that you've seen from Kelly. But Mekhi Wingo being named SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week, I think obviously very deserved on his play from Saturday, but really all season long. He's been one of those guys for LSU, week in, week out, ones that that you can count on, right? You know that he's gonna show up and he's gonna play and he's gonna be efficient and he's gonna give you numbers and he's gonna make plays. And I think from what LSU was needing, especially at that spot, right, what Mason Smith left vacant, is just been such a breath of fresh air for LSU to have him involved. So
biggest addition from the portal on the defensive side for sure, huh?
I would say so. Yeah, I would say you could probably make an argument. Jaden Daniels for sure.
Seems to be doing all right.
But yeah, I would put Mekhi Wingo right up there with him.
Greg Brooks
for sure. Yeah,
they put together a little squad, and for what you thought was going to happen, then you finally see it all kind of coming together a little bit. That's what we said about this team, right? It was going to take. We use the analogy all the time of building the plane in the air. They were doing the exact same thing with these guys, and you can kind of see. I don't know if it's buy-in or it's just finally clicking a little bit for everybody, and it's been a hell of a ride because you didn't know what you were going to get. Now to see this version of Jaden Daniels, you see Fuchsia get a pick. Brooks is everywhere. Mekhi Wingo, defensive lineman of the week, especially after like you said, you lose Mason Smith. You're like, well, that was going to probably the best player on LSU's defense, and now Mekhi steps up. He's already matched his numbers from Missouri last year, and I guess half the games. So great job, I guess, identifying talent in the portal and getting them to come here.
No, I'm telling you, man, the more that you watch and listen to Brian Kelly kind of settle in, and, he kind of feels like he's finally becoming the face of the program. It's finally becoming, his program to run his organization. The more impressive LSU truly is, and the more you listen around to national podcasts. I was listening to Andy Staples' podcast, which really does a good job of wrapping up the college football weekend. I was listening to it on Sunday night, and the stock is so high right now on LSU, and a lot of that is what people are seeing because of what Brian Kelly has come in, implemented, and you can see starting to really take shape, right? And I think building the roster goes into that. You know, starting to see these guys that they've gone out and brought back to Louisiana, guys like Joe Fouché and Greg Brooks, who we talk about, and then, you know, going out and getting a guy like Mekhi Wingo to come in here after the way that he played last season at another SEC school, and getting them to not only show up on the field, right, and play, but just getting them adjusted to the program and making them feel comfortable around their surroundings. You know, Mekhi Wingo steadily was at the top of all that was being, you know, all the data that was being accumulated in the offseason. Mekhi Wingo was always at the top of the leaderboards, always. No matter if it was the SWAT teams that we heard consistently about in the offseason, where he was a leader and his team was steadily shining. I believe he took home the Iron Tiger Award, which goes to the standout in the weight room for the offseason. We had Jamar Kane in here and asked him specifically about Mekhi Wingo, and he just unloaded, you know, of everything we throw at the guy. He gobbles it up. He's always curious about learning more. He's been a very impressive guy that, you know, the future around the defensive line, the future around LSU's program. We talk about Emory Jones. We talk about Will Campbell. We talk about, you know, these freshmen, Mason Taylor. But we also need to talk about, you know, I mean, the sophomore class on this team. You know, Mekhi Wingo, getting Mason Smith back next to Wingo next year, and having those two guys as your interior front, that's very encouraging to think down the line and what LSU is going to look like at that spot with both of those guys, assuming that Mason Smith can come back fully healthy and back to the form that he was in going into this second season. So, you know, it's truly impressive to sit back and see where LSU is here in the bye week. Had accomplished a lot, but you can see the blocks really starting to sturdy themselves as the foundation is being built, you know, for LSU football to move into the future. And a lot of that is on guys' shoulders like Mekhi Wingo and Harold Perkins, who was named the SEC Freshman Player of the Week. We mentioned, you know, Wingo's stats, seven tackles, sack and a half, you know, forced a fumble, knocked a couple of balls down at the line of scrimmage, had a quarterback hurry. Harold Perkins on Saturday, you can feel the buzz around him starting to grow. On that same podcast that I was referencing, Andy Staples spent, 45 seconds talking about just watching Perkins play, watching him play, you know, in the Florida game, watching him play in the game on Saturday versus Ole Miss, and just how different of a team LSU is. I mean, LSU's defense held Ole Miss scoreless for the final 45 minutes of action on Saturday and allowed just 137 yards in the second half. Perkins had 5 tackles. He had a sack. He had a pass breakup. He had a couple of quarterback hurries, but it's a lot more than that. I mean, when you look at the way that Ole Miss was efficient in the first half and they were moving the ball, they were up 17-3 at one point. You know, Perkins only logged 6 plays, which is nuts. But in the second half, he didn't come off the field, and I read you the stat line, and it's no coincidence. You know what I mean? So much so that the opposing coach made a couple of comments about how the game totally changes when 40 in purple and gold is on the field.
And it's almost like Lane was hoping it wouldn't happen. He
right.
was like,
well, he was going to tell you afterwards.
Right.
You know, like, he wasn't going to tell you before. It's just like, That guy's got to play.
I was really hoping they wouldn't get 40 on the field. They found a way to get him out there. It's like, yeah, a lot of noise has been made around 40 and playing time here in Baton Rouge. So, yeah, they're going to find a way to get him out there. I don't think there's any more scheming him off the field.
Right.
Because if there was a way to do it, I feel like Lane would have been the one to be able to, I guess, find a way to do it. But it turns out that that's just not really an option anymore.
Number on LSU Bama sinking like a rock, as Josh Hill points out. LSU Bama now, which opened up at 17, according to our good friends over at Caesar Sportsbook. You see the QR code in the top right of your screen. You can scan that and get inside for a promo code over there, or just to get you in. Now, 14.5, the number. With Bama still favored by
Give me that,
by a couple of scores.
It was 17.5 if you hopped on it before
Right.
the Ole Miss game. I didn't know that they would let you do that on Old Caesars. But you can also grab the Arkansas game. It was at -1 last week, so I went ahead and put a little future on that one, too.
LSU -1.
I feel like that one's going to probably move a little bit as well. So, if you want it, Caesars is putting it out there early.
That was in Fayetteville?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
think
when
it is.
Bama's here, they travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. You can go to A&M too.
Speaking of going to A&M, speaking of leaving A&M, talk about two ships passing in the night. LSU getting all this production from transfers and from freshmen. I don't know what happened at A&M, but it seemed like something significant enough to suspend, I think it's 4 freshmen, according to our good friend Billy Lucci. So
Yeah.
two programs going a little bit of different
I
directions.
had to put a few fillers out there.
It is just when you thought it couldn't get any worse in College Station, Billy Lucci, who covers Texas A&M as good as anyone and is connected to Texas A&M, said yesterday, tweeted out that 4 players with the Texas A&M program, 4 true freshmen, had been indefinitely suspended, according to Jimbo Fisher and sources inside of the A&M program. So this is obviously a story that we will be watching. No players have been named in the suspension, right?
The only thing that I'm not going to say we're reporting anything, but Captain Crown, obviously very plugged into the Tiger droppings, does a great job over there. Take that for what it's worth. It said Denver Harris. So I don't know if you want to put a little feeler out to Old Tack, or if he's doing some parenting.
Well, I know that Denver was suspended in the Miami game earlier this season.
Was it for the car?
Yeah, I believe so.
I guess you do have to parent that a little bit.
I would think so.
Let's not do that one again.
I would think so. So I haven't seen anything presently about this current suspension. So obviously we don't want to say anything that is not been confirmed by the A&M program. But one thing that has been confirmed is that 4 true freshmen have been suspended indefinitely heading into this weekend's game versus Ole Miss. So just when you thought the flame could not go any higher, there is more fire within A&M's football program. SI named the players?
I don't know. I'm on textags.com, and it's like, if you want to see a melt, my goodness.
Oh, I can imagine.
It is. They quote tweeted the Billy Lucci, and the first one, just shut it down for the rest of the season. They just want to quit. We don't want to play football here anymore. Oh, you hate to see it. But even when you still talk about the A&M game, if you want to look ahead to the future, get a bye week and kind of go through the schedule, do you feel threatened by A&M at all? I still feel like it's a game that you have to play.
I mean, look, Texas A&M's got good players, and anytime you go and play anybody that has good players, anything can happen. But from everything that is going on in and around the program and the feeling that is coming out of College Station, there is no light that leads you to believe anything positive can happen quickly at Texas A&M. Yeah, I mean, the money has
We're cursed.
the money has cost.
And now they're saying, well, this is what you get when you pay your players a bunch of prima donnas. Don't know why we did that. I thought that's what y'all wanted to do. That was the strategy. And Billy Lucci, one more tweet, got zero problem with the disciplinary action from Fisher. Probably should have seen it sooner in a couple of instances, to be honest.
Ooh.
Oh, So they've been.
So it's worse than it.
It's worse than They can't sweep anymore under the rug. They got to go get a full clean.
Wow, dude, that is.
And they got A&M this week.
No, they got Ole Miss.
I mean, they got Ole Miss this week. I'm sorry.
Lane's looking at.
Well, they are playing themselves essentially. You played yourself. What do you think? Whose line is it anyway? What do you think the spread is?
And they have 2 offensive linemen out for the year.
Oh my God.
As of right now, the suspended players are listed as freshman offensive tackle P.J. Williams, so another offensive lineman out. Freshman cornerback Denver Harris. Freshman wide receiver Chris Marshall as the latter players. The 4th player is redshirt freshman running back L.J. Johnson, who did not show up to practice on Monday afternoon.
That's my I know him.
Call him.
His dad's from Franklin.
No way.
His dad went to LSU.
Hey, door's always open.
Is his dad LeVar Johnson?
I don't know his dad's actual name, but I know his dad went to LSU for sure.
Was he a running back?
No. He played offensive line.
Okay.
Or D line.
Ole Miss -2.5 right now.
Oh.
Money line -135. Go ahead and hop on that if you want it.
Take it.
Because I feel like that thing's about to.
Take the cheese.
Yeah, catch that before it gets above that key number at 3.
So there's got to be schools out there that are calling and getting in touch with relatives from Texas A&M. There has to be that happening because that is the world that has been created around college football with NIL and the transfer portal is what you're about to experience with Texas A&M. I believe that it is about to be a free-for-all on Texas A&M's locker room. I think that you are going to see now. One thing has to be cleared up is how these contracts are written, how the language states the buyout, the out is possible within these contracts. I have not have anything confirmed, but I have heard from some pretty well tied in sources to the LSU collective and people that are familiar with the Texas A&M collective that say some of these contracts were written on 3-year deals where you were signing up for 3 years, and if you transferred or left early, there would be a financial penalty that would be involved in that. Now, in today's college football world, would it be easy for a big-time player to have another university have someone pay out the financial penalty to cover the cost? Possibly. Is the player worth that at that time? The conversations that are going to be had about NIL contracts and college athletes are going to be so uncomfortable and cause so many people to become queasy because it's not going to be able to hide under the NCAA tent of its amateurism. At this point, it's a full-fledged business. You're talking about exchange for dollars. Trade. You're exchanging services for money, right? And that's what these conversations are about to entail for A&M athletes and probably other athletes around college football that may be in a situation where, you know, it's bad, they want out, and they're tied to a contract with a school booster because of an NIL deal that they signed while they were in high school. So, I can imagine that people within the NIL world are getting their ducks in a row or, organizing themselves, strategizing themselves into a place where they can go and raid Texas A&M. I mean, there's just their freshman class is way too talented, and the ship seems to be sinking at a rate that seems like it's incapable of being saved, and the captain has to stay aboard. Like, you got to keep the guy that's driving the ship. So, I don't know, man. It's gonna be a case study. This A&M program, I believe, is about to turn itself into like a early NIL case study
30 for
of
30.
just
Stanford prison experiment.
this is not how it works.
They got that true freshman Connor Wegman waiting in the wings, though, 5-star. Played a little bit against South Carolina, so maybe that's your answer. Throw in a true freshman at quarterback against Ole Miss coming off a loss.
But I mean, like, he looks so confused.
Okay, so why is everybody talking about Hayes King's throwing motion? I didn't see it. Like, I don't.
Oh, just Google it.
All right.
I don't think it's fair either.
Is it that bad?
It just the still shots are so it's so bad.
You can catch him in a
I've seen
spot.
a couple
where
still shots that are.
It looks like he's trying to throw a knuckleball at you.
he kind of looks robotic. You know, I mean, his arm is so far away from his ear.
And he's got that big helmet on, so he has to get it farther away.
Probably gonna scrape the helmet. That's why.
Yeah, and it took a snap off the knee.
I mean,
against
really,
South
the
Carolina.
5-star freshman quarterback, Connor
Wegman. That's what
Connor
I'm saying.
Wegman. Yeah, I mean, like he was the biggest cause of concern. Like when I saw him, that's when I was like,
Oh, okay.
they're so far gone. Like there's
Jimbo's that
there's
fucking
nothing that he is good at, right? Like I mean, I thought like I know I talked a little bit about this yesterday, but I mean, Jimbo Fisher, you think at least you're getting quarterback development, right? And then Connor Wegman goes out there on Saturday and he looks confused. It's just this offense. It really is. I mean, the offense is so difficult to run, to execute, to call in the huddle. I mean, it's such a old school, antiquated style of offense, which is crazy to think about because we saw it thrive here at LSU. But think about who it was thriving with. I mean, it was thriving with Rohan and Josh Reed and Michael Clayton and Justin Vincent and Dwayne Bowe. I mean, like these guys were here nearly 20 years ago, which is nuts. But, I mean, we're all old. You know, I mean, I hate to think of it like that, but, I mean, that's just how it is. That's where that Jimbo's still running that same style of offense that, I mean, think how much college football has changed since then and how much the athletes, you know, I mean, how much their high school, their middle school, their, you know, junior high experiences are just built on spread, 2-word plays, on 2, ready, break, no huddle. You know, everybody's staying on the line of scrimmage. They're either looking at a play band or they're, you know, have some type of signs or, you know, signals that they're looking over the sideline at, and it's very simple. Then you bring them to college and you've got them calling, you know, 2-paragraph plays in a huddle with a fullback and with 2 tight ends, and it's like, what is this, the 80s? I mean, like, this is...
Play clock's running, coach.
Well,
We
you
don't
know,
have a
this is just there's no and the scariest part for an A&M fan is that the point of the contract that you're in is that you're like you're in no man's land.
You're a sinking ship.
You know what I mean? Like Jimbo is the most powerful. He's the most powerful guy on the campus, and you can ask him to change his ways. You can ask him to overhaul the offense. You can threaten him to bring in more coaches and creative minds. But at the end of the day, if he doesn't want to, and I suspect that he's not going to want to just because he seems to be very bullheaded and very stuck in his ways and has a lot of ego and money attached to all of that, which is dangerous, is that he's got a little bit of Les Miles in him where, you know, who remembers the summer of 2016 where Joe Oliva and everybody around LSU football was really kind of threatening Miles in the sense of you've got to change the offense. You have to be able to throw the ball down the field. You have to be able to evolve with the times. The type of player that you are recruiting is showing up to college and totally disorganized, confused because they haven't run that ever in their life. Right? Miles, okay, I'll change. We'll learn how to run the spread. We'll figure it out in the offseason. First play at Lambeau.
Oh, my goodness.
With Leonard Fournette running on a high ankle sprain that happened Wednesday of that week in a full scrimmage in Tiger Stadium where Donnie Alexander the linebacker, puts his face mask on Leonard's ankle in a full contact scrimmage. So now you've hurt the best player maybe in the sport at practice, and on the first play of the season, you run him into a wall of players on a toss dive. And I think, if I remember correctly, I believe Miles looked up at the Lambeau press box at Joe Oliva and the power, and was kind of like, tip the hat, like,
Oh God.
mess with me again. Threaten me again. See what happens if you threaten me again. And when Oliva could finally pull the plug, he pulled the plug. But, I mean, that feels like where Jimbo Fisher is at Texas A&M. Now, there's a lot more money in College Station than there is in Baton Rouge. They have not ever had a winner at Texas A&M, so people will do just about anything it takes to create a winner in College Station. Will a group, will the boosters collectively buy out Jimbo Fisher's $85.5 million contract? I've heard from people, including Paul Feinbaum said it. I don't know did we talk about that here on this show, that Feinbaum was at the Arkansas Quarterback Club? That was the same place where Ogeron said, where's the door at? After they gave me the $17 million and got the whole room laughing. 2 weeks later, Feinbaum's in that room. It's a very credible stop on the speaking tour, and it's usually getting eyeballs and is going to have some really heavy hitting guests. I mean, within a 2 week span, they had Ogeron and Feinbaum. If you're a college football fan, that's some pretty intriguing content to show up and listen to at lunch if you're in Fayetteville, right? So Feinbaum's at the Arkansas Quarterback Club speaking to that room and says into that room, and look, man, I know Feinbaum on a professional level. I don't know him personally, but I do know enough about him and have spoke to him enough where he doesn't just flap. He doesn't just talk. He doesn't just say things to see what sticks. If he says something, somebody that is well connected and knows has told him that. And that's just how he operates. You may love, you may hate, you may not agree, whatever you feel. I will tell you and promise you, anything Feinbaum says is coming directly from the source. It's coming from somebody within. He's that connected, and that's how he runs his program. I mean, that's how he got to where he is. He's still credible 40 years later, and that's just how he operates. So in that room, he says that he has spoke to people not that are tied to Texas A&M, the president of the university, and says that they are prepared to buy Jimbo out. I mean, look, man, it's $90 million. I mean, I think when we were talking about Miles that summer, it was like 16, 15, somewhere maybe around 13. But it was in that, it's 13 to 16 million bucks. This is 90. It's $85.5 million that they owe Jimbo if they pull the plug.
Which they won't do, right? I think you have to let this marinate a little bit.
Dude, how bad does it have to get?
I mean,
This is
players
a tough
getting
look.
suspended.
Yeah.
If that freshman
Losing.
class,
Mm-hmm.
if that freshman class starts to leak and they start to lose one here, one there,
One domino.
okay, maybe expected. But the ceiling on that class for the administration is probably around 3, 4. You get anything past, and depending on who the 4 are, right? Like, I mean, you start losing all these defensive linemen. You lose 2 of these top players. I mean,
Like
how
Denver
good would
Harris.
Evan Stewart be at Alabama?
Or LSU.
Well, I mean, like at LSU, you got enough wide receivers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, I don't want to be. I'd take Shamar Stewart and Walter Nolan and Denver Harris and Jacoby Matthews in a heartbeat.
Take all 4 of them. Thank
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, but LSU, that's where their needs are for Texas A&M's talent. Like they need to replenish that defensive line, add some depth, like guys like that. Go get a Denver Harris, somebody that's you know what I mean? Like
Bookie in
I
the
get
corner.
it. You know what I mean? I know that you look up and Denver Harris has been in trouble at A&M, but I mean, there's a lot of money in his pocket. There's a lot of freedom around that, and we've all been 18, and we don't have any idea how we would act with the amount of cash and access and freedom that these cats have. And this has always been a possibility of this world, right? I've talked to business owners who have said to me point blank, I am not getting into NIL at all because of the possibility of this happening, of just a kid going 80 miles an hour through a parking lot. Not necessarily beating up his girlfriend or getting caught with drugs or getting a DWI, whatever the worst case scenario for some of these situations can be. Just simply the having too much money at too young of an age. I mean, I'll never forget a business owner right when this NIL stuff was popping and everybody was calling, how do we get in? How do we get in? How do we contact the athletes? How can I get such and such to endorse what I'm doing for my company? And one business owner called, when I called and said, hey, would you be interested in some of this stuff? Absolutely not. Don't ever call me with any of this stuff ever again, because it's just, like he told you, I already stress enough about keeping this company up, moving, and keeping it productive every single day. If I've got to worry about a college kid representing my brand with too much money in their pocket and a lot of freedom, I'll die of a heart attack tomorrow. You know, like, I get it, man. You know, like, I understand. And I mean, I understand that stuff comes with some of these cautionary tales, but you take Denver Harris, the football player, 10 out of 10 times. Same. Kid's been suspended for 2 games through 7. He's a freshman All-American at the midway point. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Take him. Get what you get.
You know what I mean? Like,
take the good with the bad.
Tack, move to Baton Rouge, keep the kid in line.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's as easy as that. I never heard anything about Denver Harris when he was under Tack's roof in trouble. You know, I mean, he's got a lot of Tack's personality.
Can't happen.
You know what I mean? But Tack can keep him in line. And I'm not saying they're getting Denver Harris, but I'm just saying that if Denver Harris
putting the filler out there, coach.
Absolutely, the feeler's out. I mean, the stuff that we are speculating that is happening. You know, like people reaching out to Texas A&M. Hell, people are reaching out to LSU athletes. LSU might be the hottest brand in college football right now. If they're not, they're one of them. I mean, everybody everywhere is talking about LSU right now, and people's phone are still ringing. Hey, man, why you sitting the bench on a contender? You know what I mean? Like, you can come over here, we'll give you $40K, and you could be playing. I mean, that's the world that college sports is now. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but that's what it is. You know what I mean? They may try to regulate the NIL deals and what's done. The Wild Wild West is only going to shift to the recruiting in season. It's always going to be chaotic in some part of NIL and transfer portal. You're never going to be able to keep it fully calm. There's too much at stake. There's too much money. There's too many people's jobs. There's too much talent that people recognize and already have relationships with. I mean, how well do you think Corey Raymond knows Tack Minor? The guy's been recruiting him since Denver Harris has been in 8th grade when he first came to an LSU football camp.
You think he looks in the Jumpman logo?
You don't think anybody from Florida has reached... Look.
Tack.
I say, Jordy, shut up.
Hello? I'm going to call you back.
This is perfect.
Did you hear what he said?
No, what did he say?
Man, you're trying to get us investigated. We'll be back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers
for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest? Then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health, over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online. And stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net.
Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
I was embarrassed about my smile. Are you unhappy at yours? Do you not smile back at yourself? I called my friend, Dr. Spillers, over at Johnson Spillers. He fixed my smile, and now everywhere I go, people are complimenting it after the work that Dr. Spillers and the staff did to my mouth. They can do it to yours. Get in touch with them. JohnsonSpillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easy to find them, JohnsonSpillers.com. We love the crew over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Chef Shane and his crew dropping off the meals every Monday here to FM Digital Media, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner. Me or the crew's going through our meals over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Their weekly pre-order, freshly made meals, or you can walk into the cooler over there on Airline Highway. They have that fresh, same service over there at Fresh Chef Eats. FreshChefEats.com is where you can find them online. Fresh Chef Kitchen. Tell them you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show.
Looking to book a dumpster but no idea how? We've made it quick and easy for you. Check out our website at moralesrolloffs.com. Let Morales Roll-Offs know your desired delivery date, and finally, provide your contact details. To make payment, look out for an email invoice with all your booking details. On delivery day, our driver will notify you through text and email that your dumpster is ready and on the way. Now you know how easy and convenient it is. Call Morales Roll-Offs at 225-427-0000 for your dumpster.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
Don't let the name fool you. Men's Total Health has offerings for the ladies, too. Guys, is your wife or partner suffering from urinary incontinence, low sexual desire, or pain during sex? Then the O-Shot might be for her. Don't let it scare you. It's totally natural. It's PRP. And Mike Roach and the crew at Men's Total Health will make you as comfortable as you can be. Contact me for more information, Katie at jordyculotta.show.com, and I'm happy to tell you everything that Men's Total Health has to offer for the ladies.
Do you suffer from chronic dehydration? Are you looking to improve your athletic performance and you need to get over and see our friends over at GoFlow IV? They're located on Jefferson Highway. Easy to find them online at GEAUXFlowIV.com. Make sure and use the promo code Jordy Culotta Show. If you do, they'll take 15% off of your initial visit. Check them out online, GEAUXFlowIV.com.
Try this. Welcome back. Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Shout out to our girl, Jameel Johnson. It is her birthday
Was that
today.
a question?
No, I said shout out to her.
Last
Yeah.
I'm kidding. It was the way you said it.
Today's Brian Kelly's birthday, too.
Oh, look at
Libra?
y'all.
Really?
Scorpio.
Golly, the line's got to be right there,
It's
huh?
on my birthday. Most things call me Scorpio, but every now and then they do me
Get a
Libra.
little Libra.
Live in the gray, huh?
I like it. That's exactly what I like.
Happy birthday, Jamil.
21.
21. What a birthday,
up.
bro.
You can finally buy alcohol.
Yeah, watch out now. Alcohol's a danger. You gotta take it slow, Jamil. I know you've never had
Make
any
sure
alcohol
you take
before.
advice from Lloyd about drinking.
Casino and first time you drink tonight? Yeah, you
You
gotta.
are?
Yeah, you should go put one on your go put one on one number.
What's today? Do it on the date.
What is it? 24th?
25.
25th?
You always
Been a
win.
day
You always
behind.
win the first time you go to the casino. Never win
Oh
again.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
you'll win the first
get
time.
you the
Never
first
go
bet.
back. Yeah.
They get you the first time.
It's like golf. Your first shot, you smash it, you try to chase that for the rest of your
Your
life.
life.
Like, I'm terrible now.
Like, I don't know what happened. The first time I ever hit it, bro, I crushed it. Top golf, I knocked it over the net.
Wait, so you've never been able to go to the casino and gamble?
Legally.
Legally.
I got to
Right?
imagine Jamil has pulled a fake ID and thrown a crap
Yeah.
before.
Now you can legally play.
You've thrown some dice before, I'd imagine. Yeah, right.
Got the dice game going in the locker room. What are you talking about, coach?
Hit on 16, stay on 16, hit, stay, hit.
Split them.
Hit. Yeah, split him. Jesus. He's this punk at the end.
Splitting eight.
Take his spot.
$10 minimum.
Not only
table.
did LSU get recognized by the SEC yesterday as we told you, the trio of Tiger players. Jaden Daniels, SEC Offensive Player of the Week. Tigers had 500 yards of total offense. Daniels accounted for 6 scores. 11 touchdowns in the last 2 games for Daniels.
Is that good?
Mekhi Wingo, defensive tackle, defensive lineman of the week, and then Harold Perkins was named freshman of the week. Kirk Herbstreit recognized Jaden Daniels and Brian Kelly in his weekly awards that he hands out. A little bit more to the fact of what we're saying, that everybody's buzzing around LSU right now. Then you turn on the games on Sunday, and you see that Jamar Chase has joined former LSU wideouts Odell Beckham Jr. and Justin Jefferson as the 3 fastest wide receivers to reach 2,000 career reception yards after Jamar's day on Sunday, as he caught 8 for 130 and 2 scores. Chase entered the game with 1930 through the first 23 games of his career. He tied exactly to the game Justin Jefferson's. They both got to 2,000 yards in their 24th NFL game. Odell Beckham Jr. got to 2,000 yards in 21 games. We forget how dominant Odell was.
He was
his rookie year, bro. I mean, like, think about how good Justin Jefferson's rookie year was. Think about how good Jamar Chase's rookie year was. Odell Beckham's was better.
That's crazy.
I mean, it really was.
Odell was
amazing.
freaky. Like it was different.
It was.
Like, it was.
He was always open. He was like always wide, running by defensive backs.
Even in the playoff game where he
it
had
was
like a terrible
wide
game.
open. I still remember one where he, like, one of them like bounced off his face mask. He was so open, and he still was able to come back and have for about 3 years, bro. His first 3 years in the league, he was as unguardable as I've ever seen anybody in the NFL.
Then he went on that.
I mean, like Randy Moss. I've seen Randy Moss was unguardable. Terrell Owens was unguardable for a couple of seasons in the league. I'm trying to think, like, Brandon Marshall went through a stint, like, with Denver where he was, like, just busting and nobody could guard him.
I mean, Calvin Johnson.
Calvin Johnson, obviously. Des Bryant had a season like that. But Odell was so different I mean, everybody we just rattled off is like 6'4", 220-pound, just horses. You know what I mean? Like guys that you would just it's a nightmare to cover. I mean, Odell is my size. I mean, he's like Tyrann Mathieu size. He's not. He's a little bigger, but I mean, he's not
that much.
He's not like the DK Metcalf when you see him, where you're like, oh, of course he's
the
wide
freakiest attribute that Odell has is his hands.
His hands are like
this. Look like Shaquille O'Neal's hands.
Yeah, and you talked about being like a first time you hit a golf ball, whatever. John Peterson told a story on Mic'd Up on Friday that they were all hammered at WCA, and he was like, I don't know if I should tell this. He's like, statute of limitations, it's been a minute. So they had all come back from the bar, and they're hitting golf balls in the parking lot at Kirby Smith. It was closed, so it's like, oh, we're just hitting balls in the parking lot at Kirby Smith.
Into the dorm?
Yeah. No big deal.
Yeah.
And they said Odell and Jarvis walked out. And Odell's like, what are y'all doing? He's like, oh, we're hitting 7-irons at this building right. He's like, oh, let me swing. He's like, you ever played golf? He's like, no. He's like, I just watched what you did. I'm about to go do the same thing. And he said he striped it 175 yards right into Kirby Smith. He's like, what? That's not supposed to be
Somebody
easy,
told
Odell.
me that they took him water skiing one time in False River. Like he was going water skiing with him, and somebody put one of those. Is it called a scurfer, where you stand up on like not wakeboarding.
Oh, what are those like?
Different.
Yeah,
it's different than wakeboarding.
Like the ones you can drink on.
Right, and it's like
this guy
crazy.
It's not supposed to be easy.
It's not supposed to be easy. And like Odell saw it for the first time, like jumped out into the water, and like first time like slanted. He's like looked back there. He's like up with one arm, like holding.
Toss me that.
Jesus Christ,
Do
man,
y'all
this
still
guy.
follow him though? I feel like I'll never talk about him. Do y'all
Odell?
like
He's
him
hurt.
still?
He's not doing anything right now.
I know, but just always. Like, did you follow him after LSU?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
are y'all
yeah.
still
For
fans
sure.
of
He was
him?
probably the most famous football player in the first 3 seasons in New York.
I was gonna steal his gloves one game.
He crossed
after
over.
the game, yeah, but his hands are too
Yeah,
big.
He became a one name athlete.
Yeah.
He became
OBJ.
Odell.
OBJ.
Yeah.
He became
OBJ,
Kobe.
yeah.
Okay, Shaq.
LeBron.
MJ. Madonna.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Prince.
Just
He's
one
an
word.
A-lister,
You know,
like-
Tiger.
Yeah.
You know everybody. You know who you're talking about.
Exactly.
He could have walked into a coffee shop in like India. You know, people like Odell. You know what I mean? Like,
Odell Beckham.
yeah,
It's
right.
him, number 13.
Did some drama happen with him at some point though?
I think he was like caught like doing cocaine.
did
on
a little
an
cocaine and
IG
pizza.
model.
Down,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, he got weird.
Yeah, I mean, he
Yeah,
got
but
famous.
He got way
Yeah.
famous.
Yeah.
I think some girl said like he liked to have chicks like take a dump on him or something. And
Yeah,
that
that-
went
was
viral.
it.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
No, Odell's about to call you.
There it is.
but I was just too famous.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Listen
he was
to
just
these-
running,
That's
he was
what
just
you do
running
when
in
you
a
get famous. People
circle.
take dumps on you.
Yeah,
You can't blame him.
What you get to be as famous as he was, you can literally do whatever you want.
Absolutely.
I mean, his first 3 years in New York, 1,300 yards, 1,400 yards, 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns, 13 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns, and then obviously you have
And that was the rookie year.
the catch, and that is what transcended space and time for Odell.
David Cruz. Is that the other receiver? Was it Cruz?
yeah,
It was
Victor
Cruz.
Cruz.
Victor Cruz. Victor
Sauce.
Cruz says that was a Sunday night game
Against-
versus the Dallas Cowboys where Odell makes that catch. Up until that moment, Odell was still the rookie wideout. He was still the rookie that was having a really good year. You know what I mean? Up until that moment, right? At that moment, he becomes universal,
Wait, where was he then?
right?
New
He's a
York.
rookie in
No,
New
but
York.
what New York.
The
okay.
Giants, right? I mean, like he's in Manhattan.
Yeah.
And the next day or the Tuesday after that, Cruz has a autograph signing in a New York mall and brings Odell with him
Oops.
as almost like hey, and Odell's going to be there too. And they sit Odell at the table next to Cruz. And like people were asking Cruz to take pictures of him, like nobody was even like paying attention to him.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, like that was like
tough.
you know like the transition was
Yeah.
happening real time.
Yeah.
In that moment of just
pretty
people being
amazing.
like, well, I mean, Odell had it all. I mean, he still does,
Yeah.
but I mean, like now he's got all the money.
Yeah.
Is that Coach?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
All right, sweet. Coach Matt McMahon is here. We're going to talk some college basketball. We will talk to him about the environment that Tiger Stadium is creating for him to recruit within. Obviously, we'll talk to him about the big Bama game on the horizon, how he'll use that game for recruiting. And we'll also talk about where he is right now, developing his team, right? These are the days that the team is being developed. There's a ton of new faces. There are new coaches in town. They are getting ready for a college basketball season. We will talk to Coach Matt McMahon next here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Remember, daily, we're brought to you by Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. Our friends over at Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works, number one and a number two business. They can help you out with your commercial or residential plumbing problems today. Get in touch with Barker Brothers. If you mention this show, you'll save 15%. Dial them up, 225-776-2431, 225-776-2431. You want to talk to Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. Mention the show, save yourself 15%. LSU Hoop next with their head coach, Matt McMahon, here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
And Odell and Tag.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks.
And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
We're sitting in the dugout.
So funny you say that.
And Pelfrey is not pitching today, but he had he's in full uni, he's turfs. And he's standing up on the
First step.
fence, whatever, just like this, watching the game. And we start talking about, pissing your pants, something whatever. He was like, "I'll piss my pants right now." We're wearing,
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, "I'll piss my pants right now." No, you won't. Yeah, how much money do you give me? So we gathered up however many people were in there. I think it ended up being $2,000 total.
I pissed my pants for $2,000.
And
100%.
So he goes in there, and he's watching the game, and he just starts pissing in his pants. Gray pants.
Yeah.
So you see it going down his pants, long pants going into his turfs. And he's just going into his turfs. He takes his turfs out and dumps out the pee outside on the warning track, on the dugout. And he just puts them back on, and he finishes the inning. He waits till the inning is over with to leave. And so he's watching the whole inning with piss in his pants. And everybody is dying laughing. Manager's laughing. Everybody's laughing. He gets up out of it and walks to the dugout, pee all in his pants, in the gray pants. It was awesome.
Question in that game. You're listening to the Jordy Culotta Show live on YouTube. Catch it every day, 7 to 9 a.m., wherever you have internet access.
My guy, the host of Mac and Cube.
You said you wanted me to close it out.
I listen to his pod every day on WJOX 94. I thought I was going to beat Charlie. I didn't. You were fantastic as always. Have a great call in Missouri. I'll see you soon, man.
Thanks, man. Good
Later.
talking to you, Jordy.
Always. There he is. Cole Kublik, the absolute best. Don't overthink it, ABC. When you move to a primetime slot and the SEC is getting that billing, make this man the color commentator. He's the absolute best.
Ooh, I mean, what a pro.
What a pro.
I remember telling them, hey, listen, my job here is to make sure that we bring, big time football to a small town environment, right? And so you see on movies sometimes about the way a town reacts to the football program and what it means to everybody. And that was the hopes and dreams that I had for the place. And so our kids take a distinct responsibility in wearing that Z on their helmet. It means a lot to them. And then on the flip side of that, our community does a tremendous job of supporting our program, supporting the athletic department, supporting our school as a whole. And there's really a great relationship there that's a lot of fun to be a part of.
Thank you for the access, man. Looking forward to tonight. We'll talk soon.
Coach, wait, before you go, fix your hair again one more time.
Look at him.
Let's go here.
Look at him.
What do you think about that?
Game day,
what do you
baby.
think about that?
Game day. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. I love it, man. Great to see you. Thank you.
You too, guys. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great day.
All right, man. There he is. There he is. My guy. David Brewerton checking in. All What does Harold Perkins do for this defense? What does he allow you guys to do?
Yeah, Perk, man, he's just so raw, man. Like, all he know how to do is make a play. But I love him. He brings a certain type of juice to the defense, and he's right alongside of me on the edge. He knows how to rush the edge. As a young guy, that's very valuable to the defense, being able to rush the edge. Making the quarterback step up. But yeah, they put him everywhere. Middle linebacker, outside rusher. Maybe sometimes he's gonna be in a drop. So he's very versatile for our defense.
All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Exciting times around Baton Rouge right now, man. You can feel it, right? Everybody was talking about it in Tiger Stadium. Football team getting back on track. You could feel the buzz around the build-up to the Alabama game. A lot of people getting excited around basketball season, too, right now. It's kind of behind the scenes. Coach Matt McMahon and his crew putting the finishing touches on practice before the season starts. It'll be here kind of before you know it. We're under a month away, as Kansas City will be in town on Wednesday, November 9th to kick off the season. Just a little over 2 weeks away here to the first season of head coach Matt McMahon and the LSU basketball team. He's been through the studio during the offseason, the summer, as he was getting adjusted to the job. Now practicing and back here with us for a couple of minutes here on this Tuesday morning. Coach, as always, good morning. Good to see you.
Jordy, great to be here with you.
Yes, sir, man. We've talked to you a lot about the process, the parts of the process of kind of where you are and building this program under your direction at this part. Just kind of how has it been and being on the practice floor for the first time with your crew?
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because of the players. A lot of buy-in. I've worked extremely hard. Hard to believe we're sitting here at 15 days out from the season opener, having just gotten started back in June. But I think you see the progress we've made over these 5 months. Still a long way to go, trying to develop that culture of and that chemistry in the locker room. I know you and I have talked about it quite a lot. Seeing who's going to emerge as in a leadership role, I think it's going to be really critical here as we approach opening night 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Yeah. How much emphasis on building chemistry is put on the floor activities to what's happening kind of off the floor as well?
I think you have to have the balance there. There's certainly a standard that you have to practice to from not just a work ethic standpoint, but communication to develop that chemistry. But I think a big part of that happens off the court. Yeah. Developing those real, genuine relationships, that leads to trust, that you hope will lead to commitment to each other on the court. So I think there has to be a good balance there for sure.
How difficult is it with bringing everybody together for the first time? I'd imagine for you, this is the first time you've been dealt this type of situation, right?
I think it's perspective.
Yeah.
You could look at it as, quite a task, probably unprecedented, taking all these new people and building them into one team, or you can look at it as one hell of an opportunity, and that's how I see it. It's a lot of fun. I know ultimately you're judged in this profession on your wins and losses, but I really enjoy the building a team part. I think that's fun, very challenging, but the adversity is a big part of that, and how we handle adversity. So trying to put our players in some uncomfortable situations in practice to see if we can get some of that leadership to emerge.
Yeah. Have you seen have you liked what you've seen from the leadership standpoint?
Well, I think leadership by example has been really good. I mean, when you start talking about guys like Juice Hill, KJ Williams, and Wani Wilkinson, guys who have had great success on the court at this level. Where we have to show some growth. Who's going to be the voice, especially during the challenging times? Who's going to be that voice to step forward? I think all three of those, I think Adam Miller, all great candidates. But that's just going to be part of our process here.
A lot of people excited about watching Adam play, finally getting a chance to see him play night in, night out. His health seems like it's right. What have you seen from him?
I think the progress he's made since he was cleared, really, which was just back at the end of August. So we're maybe less than 2 months in to being cleared. He hadn't played a college basketball game in 19 months. Wow. So I know he's anxious to get back on the floor and do it in front of people. But I love him. I mean, he's one of the elite shooters in college basketball. Great competitor, really smart on the floor. And, I think you'll see him just get more and more comfortable as we go. But I think he is, because of how hard he's worked through his rehabilitation process, coming off the knee injury, his progress over the last 2 months is really off the charts.
How much have you relied and how much has it helped you to have a guy like KJ Williams and some other players who've been with you that really understand the expectation that you have from your seat?
I think it's been critical, especially when you're essentially starting over from scratch, to have 3 guys who know how things need to operate on a daily basis, know how we want to play, know what the standards are in the organization. And now they need to represent that every day and build the consistency in our program. I heard John Morant talking about it last night after his game. We always talk about your habits, and there's a favorite quote we always use with our team. And people don't decide their futures. People decide their habits, and their habits decide their futures. And so we're just trying to develop that consistency on a daily basis. And like I said, I think that all has to start with what is your foundation. And that, for us, has to be how hard we work, how unselfish we are, hopefully starting to develop and build some toughness in the program. And ultimately, we want that to lead to some joy and some fun. Yeah. We're playing college basketball at LSU. Right. What else could you ask for? Right. So, the guys have really been bought in. And because of that, I think you start to see the progress on a daily basis.
Ja feels like he's about to pull a chair up to the top 10 player in the world type category, conversation.
Yeah, I think he already pulled up the chair. Now it's a matter, is he going to MVP type level? I mean, that's what he's playing at every night. I always said, really from the first day we had the opportunity to coach him, when you start getting to the NBA, sure, you have to win. But it's also a multi-billion-dollar entertainment business.
Amen. Yeah.
And he's probably the most entertaining player in the world.
The alley-oop he caught last night. I mean, he left outside the lane, caught it with his left hand, and just...
We work on that every day. we work on that every day.
Straight out of Coach Matt McMahon's playbook. That's right. That's what you'll be expecting opening night. How about a couple of freshmen you were able to bring in late in the process, guys like Jalen Reed and Ty Ward, who were heavily recruited guys? How have they adjusted to college basketball?
It's been fun because of their mindset and their attitude. They're hungry. They want to learn. They want to get better. Jalen Reed is a unique player. I've never coached anyone like him.
Wow.
From a standpoint, he's 6'10", 235 pounds, but he's not a post player. He's a perimeter-oriented, really skilled off the dribble, great passer, very unselfish. Is a guy who can create for others on the floor. So that's been fun to get to do some different things offensively with a talent like him. Tyrell's really come on strong here of late. Really blessed with 6'6" wing, great length and athleticism, kind of wired to score.
Yeah.
So those 2 guys are doing really well.
Do your teams have an overriding identity? Because it feels like you're kind of built to run, or it feels like you'll be comfortable playing in a half court.
Well, I think identity is a great word you just used there, and every team's identity is different. We certainly have a foundation for how we'd like to play, how we want to operate every day, but every team is unique, and I think that's something we're still searching for to figure out what's going to be the identity of this team. But I think you watch these press conferences every spring when coaches get hired. We're going to run and gun. It's going to be up tempo,
up and down.
It's going to.
Have you seen John Morant play?
Yeah. and so and we certainly want to play at an up tempo speed, but as we're always reminding our players, there has to be a balance there. If you don't defend, If you can't be a physical, tough, rebounding team, there is no opportunity to play up tempo and to play fast.
Yeah.
Because you're always taking the ball out of the net, and you become a slow down half court team. So for us, we want to find that balance. That's what we were able to establish over the last 5 to 7 years. I think last year we were 12th in the country in offense, but we were 13th in the country in defense.
Wow.
And so I think there has to have that balance. And we're still working to find what exactly is going to be that identity on our team.
How big of an advantage is a football game day in recruiting?
Wow, that's been a lot of fun.
I bet.
For me, selfishly.
Right.
I mean, this past Saturday,
right.
You're out there on the field, 45 minutes before the game, the student section's already full.
Yeah.
Just the atmosphere around campus, that electricity that you feel when you're walking around and you see this sea of humanity, all in their purple and gold outside the stadium, the tailgating. The food, I've stolen a lot of good food on these game days.
Yeah, right.
But no, it's amazing, and I'm really excited for November 5th. Because I have a feeling it's about to go to an even higher level.
You and I were talking yesterday, and your first question was, "What should I expect?" And if you don't know what to expect, it is gonna. I'd imagine you've heard Scott Van Pelt talk about his experience in Tiger Stadium for the first time, and it was an LSU Bama game in 2012, and I think he kind of poetically puts it out there of just everything that goes on around you and in this game, and the things that you talk about will be, it'll be more hyper, it'll be more intense. The Thursday 4 o'clock during, on campus, you'll smell it. You'll start to see it Friday. I don't know if anybody goes to work in this town on Fridays of that week. It's just, it'll be electric. What have you made of recruiting in the state, of the basketball in the state, when you just kind of look around the state of Louisiana?
Well, that was a priority for us.
Yeah.
It was certainly a factor in how we put together our coaching staff. I've really enjoyed getting to meet a lot of the high school coaches in the state.
Yeah.
There's a long history of elite players coming from the state of Louisiana. We've talked before about that 06 Final Four team at LSU. So we definitely wanted to make that a priority, and excited about where we're at in this class here in the state. And now trying to do a good job getting out in front on the 24 and 25 classes down the road. But when you can bring student athletes and their families in for these football weekends, and they see the passion, they feel the electricity. It's just different.
Yeah,
it's just different than anywhere else in the country. We had a recruit here Saturday, and we go to walk-ons after the game. After that dominating second half performance, and you're leaving walk-ons, we're riding the golf cart through all the RVs and all the people still out there tailgating and celebrating the win. It's just unique. It's special. You can't find that anywhere else in the country.
Do you feel like home yet, Baton Rouge? Have you
for
settled
sure.
in?
Yeah. People. The people have just been so welcoming. On so many different levels. People like yourself. The donors, the fans. Former coaches, former players at LSU. I've really enjoyed that. I think that's important, that you're able to connect those dots, all the different generations of LSU basketball players. There's an incredible history here.
Yeah.
3 of the top 50 players in the history of the NBA. We just put the 4 new Final Four banners up in the practice facility. There's unbelievable potential here.
There is football season is electric here, and you can feel it from August through December. Baton Rouge is a different place when the basketball team is relevant. I mean, it is a buzz and an excitement and just a juice to it that people love basketball here. They really love the game. Have you been able to feel that just kind of out in the streets?
Oh, for sure. I mean, and then just looking at the season ticket sales, with all the unknown, to see how many people have stepped forward and want to be a part of this journey as we start here at Ground Zero and start the process of building our program. You certainly sense it. You're talking to Coach Brown and getting the opportunity to meet people like Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf and Rudy Macklin, and just hearing their stories. I had the chance to meet Stromile Swift this past weekend at the game. Trenton Watford's been back for games. You just see how much LSU basketball means to Baton Rouge. So I'm really excited about it. Can't wait to get into PMAC on the 9th.
John Brady's a great friend of ours and has done a lot for our show and a lot for us personally. And I know that he's a great resource for LSU basketball, being that he's the color commentator on the radio broadcast, and he's somebody that really still passionate about the game. Have you had a chance to meet him in the conversations that you've had with him?
We have. He's been awesome.
I bet, yeah.
Obviously, leading LSU to the Final Four back in 2006. Won how many ever games over his illustrious career. But now just the perspective, just always trying to grab some wisdom from him, not just from his time coaching at LSU, but all the success he had over the years. He's come to multiple practices. It's been very welcoming, been a great resource, and look forward to traveling the road with him this season.
Best of luck here in year one, man. I know that it probably starts to intensity probably starts to ratchet up here in the next couple of days, here, right?
It's here.
Yeah.
It's here. I think the sense of urgency the players have to have now to really make corrections and study the film and make sure they understand style of play, systems, offense, defensive end of the floor. Because once we hit November 9th, it rolls.
Yeah.
And you've seen what the opening month of SEC play looks like. Got a warm welcome there from the SEC to some of the finer programs right now. So we got to be ready to go here. And,
That's right.
and it's hard to believe, but 15 days from tonight, we're live in action in the PMAC.
Wow. Yeah, let's welcome the new guy to Baton Rouge to the league. Huh?
Hey, welcome Woodward's all right up to this point. I think
right.
No pressure, Coach.
Great to see you. Thank you for the
Awesome
time.
to be here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, thanks so much, Jordy.
You got it. Best of luck. There he is, Matt McMahon, entering year one. A little bit over 2 weeks, 15 nights from right now. LSU basketball tips it off. Kansas City will be in town, and then they're off and moving here in year one under his direction. We'll come back, talk more college football. Ross Dellenger from Sports Illustrated will be here. Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Southern Eye Centers, located at 6859 Jefferson Highway right here in Baton Rouge, has been serving your eyes for over 40 years in the capital region. They offer friendly service in a helpful environment with the highest level of personal care to manage your eye health and vision needs. If you want more information, log online to southerneyecenters.com. That is southerneyecenters.com. Stop in and check out their beautiful office located on Jefferson Highway right here in the capital city. And remember, each time you walk in there and you mention the Jordy Culotta Show, Dr. Ann Shaw and Southern Eye Centers will take 25% off of their fantastic selection of sunglasses. All you got to do is mention the Jordy Culotta Show. Check them out. southerneyecenters.com and located at 6859 Jefferson Highway.
Looking to book a dumpster but no idea how? We've made it quick and easy for you. Check out our website at moralesrolloffs.com. Let Morales Roll-Offs know your desired delivery date, and finally, provide your contact details. To make payment, look out for an email invoice with all your booking details. On delivery day, our driver will notify you through text and email that your dumpster is ready and on the way. Now you know how easy and convenient it is. Call Morales Roll-Offs at 225-427-0000 for your dumpster.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha,
Malik Neighbors,
Miles Frazier,
Kyron Lacey,
Greg Brooks.
Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team. Make a difference.
Bet. Let's get it done.
Hey, Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks.
And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Do you suffer from chronic dehydration? Are you looking to improve your athletic performance and you need to get over and see our friends over at GoFlow IV? They're located on Jefferson Highway. Easy to find them online at GEAUXFlowIV.com. Make sure and use the promo code Jordy Culotta Show. If you do, they'll take 15% off of your initial visit. Check them out online, GEAUXFlowIV.com.
Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Ghost Chevrolet. Jamil's showing her feet on the for her birthday.
Keep paying her, and she's going to show them.
Cash happened.
I'll show him.
She ain't scared for sure. All right, Matt McMahon. Great stuff from Coach McMahon. Appreciate him stopping by. LSU men's basketball coach heading into year one as he's got the Tigers ready to play. They'll open up play on 15 nights from now, November 8th, I believe, is the opening game.
He gives me Dave
for
Miranda
LSU.
vibes.
Oh, wow.
Right? Just
like
listening
evil
to him
scientist?
talk.
Serial killer?
No, just pleasant and soothing. Jesus.
Yeah, just,
I never.
Dahmer?
Dave Miranda gave like Dahmer vibes. He was like
he was
real
he's
quiet.
very just even keeled, low key.
Then he gets to talking football.
We'll
and
play
it's
the
like,
nickel and then I'll cut him up and eat him.
Yeah.
Remember when we did that video with Dave Miranda? And it
so
was like
good.
it's
I'll be
like he
having you for
rolled
dinner.
over to do that interview in bed with you.
Ross Dellenger covers college football for Sports Illustrated. He is the best in the business. It has been a while since we've talked to Deli. He is back here with us on this Tuesday morning. Ross, good morning. How are you?
Morning, Jordy. I'm doing well.
Yes. Brian Kelly and LSU stock feels like it is trending in the right direction right now. As a national writer, what is the perception of LSU going into the bye week?
Yeah, I think there's obviously, I think nationally, everybody kind of forgot about LSU after the opener, and that tends to happen when you look that bad in an opener against a team that I don't think anybody expected to be very good. So you just kind of get lost and forgotten. Everybody focuses on other teams, but obviously the Tigers are going on a little run here. I don't know that anybody – well, I mean, there are probably a lot of people that expected them to beat Florida, but I don't know anybody on a national level really expected that. It surprised me. I didn't expect them to go down there and win, and they did that. And then I did expect them to beat Ole Miss just because it was at home, and I saw their game against Florida and thought, okay, I think Ole Miss hasn't played very many good teams, and I think that they could get them. I didn't expect for them to roll them quite like they did. So obviously they're feeling good about themselves, and Jaden seems to be I think early on it sure looked like Jaden really struggled to pass the ball down the field to get the ball down the field, but that seems to be changing. The receivers seem to be clicking a little more. So the Tigers are feel like they're back on the national scene a little bit, and obviously with a huge game coming up, I'll be down there in Baton Rouge for that one, and excited to see a night game at Tiger Stadium against Alabama.
Yeah, Deli, the build-up, you've been a part of this game and a lot of the great games in this history, especially over the last 15 years. It feels like the build-up for this one's going to be real. Night game, LSU, both in the first place, both sitting in a first-place tie in the SEC West.
Say that again. I mean,
This
unbelievable.
is crazy to think about what the implications of this game could be when you think back just a couple of weeks, even the offseason. I mean, take me back to media day, and I would have told you, Delly, when you come to Baton Rouge the first Saturday in November, first place in the West will be on the line. You would have said what?
Yeah, I would have been a little surprised. I mean, you look at LSU's early season schedule, and I didn't expect them to lose to Florida State, but I really didn't expect them that they would win necessarily at Florida. So I guess, I thought they'd kind of be maybe 5-2-ish right now, but I don't know if anybody really expected Alabama to have a loss, halfway through the year, despite Tennessee and the hype around them preseason. I don't know that anybody expected them to be just as good as they really are. So yeah, it is I think for many it is a surprising situation, and for Brian Kelly and them, it's just, you're just through 7 games, but it does feel like they've quieted some of the national critics. Kelly feels like he's been the butt of quite a few jokes nationally because of some things in the off season, and then you lump that in with losing to Florida State and looking really bad doing it, getting shelled by Tennessee, and there's a lot of questions and a lot of critics, and it seems like they've quieted them for now. And this is as you know, right, this is a kind of a special game that is has obviously not swung LSU's way a whole lot the last few years, and the thing is about Alabama, I know they have a loss, and I know that they're sitting in a situation that they haven't been in a while, but they're still Alabama. Yep. They have a lot of great athletes and a Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback, but they do have holes. And Tennessee exposed some of those holes, and LSU with a mobile quarterback who is getting the ball down the field, that is one of those holes that Tennessee has exposed. And so I think offensively, LSU should be able to move the ball a little bit. I think the real concern probably is stopping or slowing Bryce Young in Alabama, who now have a week to kind of recover. He's been injured. So that's, you could kind of see a little bit of a scoring fest unfolding.
Dilly, take me over to College Station. How bad is it? How bad could it get?
Well, judging by last night, Billy Lucci, a reporter over in Aggieland, reported that like 3 or 4 freshmen on the team, the NIL class, the best class that Texas A&M has ever signed, at least 3 of those guys, if not 4, are suspended for something. So I guess it could get worse. They lost an offensive lineman, so it is. It seems like they've gone from bad to worse, and you got to wonder if they'll even, at this point, when you look at their remaining schedule, if they'll even make a bowl. They might be in a situation where they have to beat LSU in the last week of the season to make a bowl game. That'll be interesting.
What happens there, Dilly? Because I know the record on buyout is $21.5 million to Gus Malzahn from Auburn that they paid him to walk away. Jimbo's is quadruple that, right? I mean, it's $85.5 million. Is this even worth discussing that they could contemplate a move, or what do you expect could happen here?
I don't think it's worth discussing. I can't imagine. I mean, they got a lot of money over there, but to write the $85 million check, which is the cost nowadays of many nice football facilities, operation centers, or weight rooms, for them to write a check to buy out a coach for that much is it's hard to believe that they have that kind of money. I think they are stuck there. They're stuck with him, and we're going to see this more often. And I think one of my friends in the business, Andy Staples, wrote about this earlier this week. Is we're going to see this more. you promised a coach, and LSU did it too. You promised a coach a 10-year contract and a guaranteed contract. Guess what that means? You are stuck with them for at least 4 to 5 years into that, or more, depending on the school. So the schools and the ADs, they made their bed. This is the situation that they're in through their own volition.
From the A&M supporter side, I'm with you, Delly, and you covered these days at LSU more intently than anyone. It feels like the Les Miles days at LSU where they were in the middle of that contract and nobody wanted to pay the buyout, and Les was too bullheadish to change his approach, and you felt like you were just stuck on this 8-9 win season every year where people were starting to grow very, very tired.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that, but that's not a bad comparison because, Jimbo obviously, he gets a lot of attention for being an offensive guy, and a lot of that is rooted in his days as an offensive coordinator at LSU and Florida State, and in him having Jameis Winston, and he is more of he is more of a pro style system. You could see him, you see him on the sideline. He's got like 25 different sheets of paper, laminated paper he's looking at, because his offense can be fairly complicated because it is a pro offense. And there's a lot of similarities to what LSU ran probably back in the day with Les. It was a pro style offense. And they ran the ball quite a bit. And I think Jimbo probably throws it a little bit more than Les did, but then that's not really saying much. But I think that I think there is some comparison there, and LSU wasn't really stuck with Les. I mean, you mentioned they're getting money to pay the buyout. I mean, Joe Oliva made the decision, I think, after the 2012 season to give him an extension because of a flirtation with Arkansas, and that kind of put them in a bind for the next few years, probably, but not for 10 years. And so this is a real pickle. And usually what happens in this situation, and we talk about how a school's stuck with a coach for, at least 5-6 years of a 10-year deal, probably just based on finances. I mean, the buyout doesn't drop like below $50 million until like year 6 or something. So, but it usually works itself out. Like if it gets bad enough, then something's gonna happen where either there's a negotiated settlement of the buyout, or either where the coach just leaves and either takes another job or takes a smaller check to leave or retires. So usually it's going to work itself out, but it'd be really interesting to see how these situations beyond A&M happen. Brian Kelly got a 10-year deal. Lincoln Riley's got a 10-year deal. James Franklin, Mel Tucker, of all of them, Mel Tucker is in the trickiest situation. They are bad. And I don't know what happens there, because his buyout it's not quite the Jimbo levels, but it's pretty close. And so it'd be interesting to monitor these situations and see how they end.
Ross Dellenger, Sports Illustrated. Ross, when do you get in town next week?
I don't know. I haven't booked my flight, so I need to probably get on that. But I'll probably come like Friday afternoon and stay over a little bit. Might go see the guys down in Tulane. They're on a roll.
Oh yeah.
Fritz and them on Sunday or something like that, and stick around a little bit. So I'm sure I'll see you.
Delly, right now, best 4 teams in the country is Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia. Who's the 4th?
It's honestly, like, if we're looking at the end of the year here, it's hard to say, like, Alabama not being 12-1. It just is. I'd hate it for them to be that be the 4. State obviously knock off one another, but right now those are probably the 4: Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State, and Clemson, or Georgia. I'm sorry, Georgia. And there's some argument for Clemson for sure.
How do you feel in Tennessee?
I mean, I think Tennessee's going to lose it.
Yeah.
That's the only problem. When you work out the rest of the season, when you look at the rest of the season games, I think Tennessee loses at Georgia. And then I think Alabama beats Georgia in the championship game, which will really set up something because Alabama is going to be 12-1 and Georgia will be 12-1.
Delly, they don't have the nuts to put 3 SEC teams in the playoffs, right?
No, they
way.
don't.
Yeah,
no,
no,
one of those teams will be left out. Alabama, the SEC champion will be in.
Yeah.
And then it'll be like an 11-1 Tennessee will be in, or like a 12-1 Georgia if it works out that way. There's no way they put in 3 SEC teams.
Be incredible. Delly, great to hear from you, man. We'll see you next week in Baton Rouge. Thank you.
All right, guys.
All right, man.
See y'all.
There's Ross Dellenger checking in. Daily, we're brought to you by RMB Builders. Remember Rhett Bourgeois and his crew over at RMB Builders. They can custom design and build you a home today. They have great Instagram, great social media that you can learn all about their company over there and the projects that they have going on, whether it's a certain neighborhood you're looking to build in or looking for a home in, or whether you're looking for a certain style, and it is the highest quality each and every time when you deal with RMB Builders. Get in touch with them today, Rhett Bourgeois and the crew, rmb-builders.com, rmb-builders.com. We're back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest? Then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online. And stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz. I was embarrassed about my smile. Are you unhappy at yours? Do you not smile back at yourself? I called my friend, Dr. Spillers, over at Johnson Spillers. He fixed my smile, and now everywhere I go, people are complimenting it after the work that Dr. Spillers and the staff did to my mouth. They can do it to yours. Get in touch with them. JohnsonSpillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easy to find them, JohnsonSpillers.com. We love the crew over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Chef Shane and his crew dropping off the meals every Monday here to FM Digital Media, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner. Me or the crew's going through our meals over at Fresh Chef Kitchen. Their weekly pre-order, freshly made meals, or you can walk into the cooler over there on Airline Highway. They have that fresh, same service over there at Fresh Chef Eats. FreshChefEats.com is where you can find them online. Fresh Chef Kitchen. Tell them you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show.
Looking to book a dumpster but no idea how? We've made it quick and easy for you. Check out our website at moralesrolloffs.com. Let Morales Roll-Offs know your desired delivery date, and finally, provide your contact details. To make payment, look out for an email invoice with all your booking details. On delivery day, our driver will notify you through text and email that your dumpster is ready and on the way. Now you know how easy and convenient it is. Call Morales Roll-Offs at 225-427-0000 for your dumpster.
Hey Baton Rouge, when traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, whether you need to fill up your vehicle or your belly, stop by Go-Mart and On The Go Deli. Go-Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you might need on your trip. So stop by Go-Mart at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left, and visit Tom and Wright Granning and their awesome team at Go-Mart.
All right, our boy Clint from the parish is pissed off. The fish must not have been biting this morning.
He hates
He's
Sports
mad at Deli.
Hates
Real mad at Deli.
Just no enthusiasm with our guy Deli.
Okay.
Terrell Fife, what up, dog? All right, we heard Gordon was here last week, and G was telling us about his latest initiative in the NIL space. As we told you, is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and he had inked a deal with 14 of his athletes to raise money for breast cancer awareness here. He also had the Big Play Initiative, and last week, after he had told us that he was going to donate after all of the big plays that his guys made over the weekend, here to give us the grand total of money donated and what institutes a big play. I got a couple, I think, that could probably get a donation or two. Alex Ludwig, who's the marketing director over at Gordon McKernan's spot, both for the injury attorney, and for what Gordon's doing in the NIL space, is joining us here on the show this morning. It is good to see you, buddy. Alex, good morning. How are you? Oh, one second. Go ahead. Can we hear you?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, indeed. Yes, beard looks great.
All
Flow
right.
looks great. How are we feeling this morning?
Feeling good, Jordy. We're glad that we were able to kind of put together the whole breast cancer awareness thing last week with all the players. I know I've talked to you numerous times. It's always a fun project to corral together that many guys to try to pull off some type of promotion. So we had a good time though, and I wanted to kind of call in and talk to you because, as you mentioned, we wanted to know what constitutes a big play.
Yes.
We kind of kept it subjective for a reason, right? We were counting the regular stats, right? It was $100 for a reception, 10 yards of offense, so on and so forth. But I wanted to keep the big plays kind of subjective because ultimately, a lot of different things are big plays. And so I was wondering what your take was and if you had any in mind in particular.
Well, I am super biased over the last 2 weeks, Alex, and I have been trending everything towards number 40. And every time Harold Perkins is on the field, it seems like something good happens. And a lot of those good plays came from him in the second half. He had a couple of sacks. He had a couple of balls batted down. I thought he played really good. Now, those were big plays, I thought, for the game. When you looked at the overall highlights of the game, they probably wouldn't show you some of those plays just because they don't stand out as, wow type of plays. So that's where I was curious in watching the game. First, Alex, how much did we donate? How much did we put forward this weekend?
We're still racking up the tally for it because we did put out some feelers and just asking, hey, what do you think the big plays were, to make sure that we're considering everything that everybody considers a big play, like you were just saying. And like someone out there told us, Emory Jones and Miles Frazier, two of our offensive linemen on the Get Garden team, working together to for the team to get over 250 rushing yards, right? Yeah. It's not a play in itself, but you know what? I'll call it a big play. You know, Greg Brooks defending a pass that would have otherwise been a first down. You know, like you said, it probably wouldn't have been in the highlight reel, but it was a huge play to me. It was a big play, and the more big plays, the better, because the more big plays there are, or interpretations of a big play, the more we're going to be donating to charity. So we're probably in the $12,000 to $14,000 neighborhood across the state.
Wow.
For all of our players. So the minimum that we were going to donate, no matter what. So if the teams and the players put out an absolute stinker, which thank goodness they didn't, we were still going to donate a minimum amount by 85 across the state. So they did a good job really bringing that total up a good bit.
I will tell you a player that maybe we haven't been talking about all season, Alex, that I think is starting to make plays week in, week out, and it may not be in the numbers, but when he touches the ball, good things are happening. Is Kyron Lacey seems to be getting opportunities and making the most of his opportunities when he gets them. I feel a big play on the horizon for Kyron. You know, some of these players, Kayshawn's getting all the attention. Harold Perkins is probably going to get a lot of the attention. But Kyron Lacey feels like a guy that could be a dark horse here over the next couple of weeks to watch.
I absolutely think so, and I know my team would love to see that happen. If you have interacted with them, the big, fun-loving personality, impossible to not like. So just to see any like that, I would absolutely love to see.
All right, Alex, you're on the front lines here. We talked to Gordon last week. What has it been here, about the halfway point of football season? All the off-season negotiation, all the in-season negotiation, all of the communication with your clients. What has this NIL experience been like from your point of view?
It's been a roller coaster, right? So you had the beginning, leading up to the season, all the hype around LSU, getting Brian Kelly, all the updates with it. And then, of course, NIL going on with that. Everybody was flooding the market, trying to get into the NIL space, figure it out, and have some fun with it. And then we had that loss to Florida State, right? So a lot of negative talk out there, a lot of things that, we knew could possibly happen. But from the, ultimately we're partnering with these players for a longer term thing. And as opposed to some companies that kind of just pay for a post here or there, we do longer term contracts with these guys because we want a partnership with them. We want to support some causes with them. So we knew we were in it for the long haul with a lot of these guys. And it was great to see them turn around. And, lately, obviously the talk's been really positive around LSU. Around NIL, we got people like Harold Perkins, which is absolutely amazing to me, being a true freshman. Yeah. Emory Jones, same thing, just absolutely just killing these guys out there, and all of that talk that's going on with them. I know in the coming years, if they next year the NIL deals for them, they'll probably be asking for more money, right? Because everybody's already talking about them. It's just going to get bigger and bigger. So the NIL space has been a fun space, and ultimately something like last week was one of the initial ideas that we had when we started doing these partnerships, because everybody knows, you want to kind of – sports is where a lot of people put their money because a lot of eyes are always on it, and the fan base is always hardcore about it. But what I like about the NIL space is that you get to partner with personalities rather than an entity, right? Rather than partnering with LSU, we're partnering with Harold Perkins, with Kayshawn Booty, and their particular personalities. And I think that goes a long way in someone like G, who also has a big personality and loves to interact with these players, and being able to get them involved in the community, being able to get them involved with the brand and have fun with it. We're a little loose with a lot of it. We just tell them, hey, here's some swag. Here's, our slogan. We interact a lot. We try to provide some mentorship, but go out there, have some fun, just promoting the brand and enjoy yourselves.
Bet. Get it done. Alex Ludwig, who is here talking to us about Gordon McKernan. So I got to imagine the way that you watch football on Saturdays has changed, being that you've got players scattered all over the state.
It has definitely changed. When I'm watching it, you're now rooting for a game almost, because you're rooting for your players. It is kind of bad because Jaden Daniels throws a pass and It isn't Kayshawn, Kyron, or Malik that catches him.
Right. Kayshawn's wide open over the middle, Jaden. Let the ball go, for God's sakes.
What am I paying for?
But it ends up being a touchdown anyway, right? It's like, that could have been our guy. And especially last week when we're trying to raise the money, we're raising the money for charity. I wanted them to just completely blow it out the water and us be like, wow, we were not expecting to donate that much money. Which they still did a good job with. So it definitely changes the way you watch the game a little bit. You're watching that game within the game of your guys. And then also, we, like you mentioned, we have partnerships for many players at many universities across the state. Like one of our players, he hadn't had a breakout game, only had a few receptions and a few yards on the season. And then he doubled his reception total, his receiving total, and tripled his touchdowns in the first half of the UL game last week. And so that was awesome to see. So we made sure to give him a call, congratulate him, and kind of line him up to go on some talk shows because everybody wants to talk to him this week. And then it's an easy way to get him out there. So helping to support them in different ways like that as well is always fun.
Alex Ludwig is the marketing director over at the G Squad, Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. Alex, as you know, we are we love being a part of the squad, being a part of the crew, whatever we got to do to help and get the message, the message and the promotion out. We love to be a speaker box for what's going on with Gordon at the firm and with NIL. So thank you again, and we will talk soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jordy.
Oh, Al, and if you want, if you're just looking for ideas to give away more money, I know you're always in the market. Big play on this end. Every time LSU catches a punt, maybe throw Greg Clayton some money.
Later, buddy. Thank you.
All right. See y'all.
All right, man. There he is. Alex Ludwig. Check it in.
Call him Al?
Yeah.
Do you know him like that?
No, I'm just taking a cue out of Jordy's
It's a nickname
book.
game.
Yeah.
Was he in like an RV?
I don't know. It looked like he was
Everybody wondered that?
Is that where the safe is for G? It looked like he had something going on back there, a little code.
I don't know what's going on back there.
Little service is having a hard time getting out of there.
Or like a cockpit of some sort.
Right.
Call him back. Let's find out.
Tap, tap, tap.
How are y'all not curious about that? I was trying to figure that out the whole time.
Bet the code is bit. Get it done.
I'm sure that's what it is.
A lot of birthdays today here on this.
Hayden
People were
Pear, the
busy
troll,
this
his
morning.
son's birthday.
October 25th.
What was 9 months before this? What
Matt
happened?
McMahon's
son.
Jamil, Brian Kelly.
That's what I'm saying. What was 9 months before this, where everybody was
Spring, people were excited. Coming out of hibernation.
Yeah. Good for
that
y'all.
9 months ago?
Congrats.
Actually coming
That's
in
like
hibernation.
I mean, I think back if you're talking 9 months from
Oh, yeah,
October.
you're right.
I mean, it's
So
like
winter.
dark,
That's
gray,
true. So
rainy.
people were
Get
just
your ass
cozy
inside and shut the
enough.
door.
Yeah. It's cold out there.
Let's go make a baby, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I'm bored.
I appreciate everybody for stopping by today. Busy show.
Busy show. Quick one.
Deli for stopping by from Sports Illustrated.
Everybody
got
loved
the
that,
parish
that
riled
clip.
up.
We missed out on Tayvion Galloway. We'll link back up with him at some point. Matt McMahon came through at 8 a.m., talked some LSU hoop. And then Alex Ludwig, of course, there from the G Squad, telling us about all the donations made.
Oh, wow.
After a weekend
Big Al.
of big plays. Carpool Queen, how's 24 feel?
Oh, it's great. It's just great.
You're
Getting
not
younger
playing
every
along
day.
in the game anymore, are you?
You know?
You're not
Age
playing
is-
along.
Age is just a number.
Oh, wow. Feeling old today.
That was sad.
I can
No, I
feel
really
it.
don't. I
Yeah, that was-
really- I
that
don't
was-
feel
that was
old.
actually-
Like,
Sorry I brought it up.
I feel so
Sorry I
young,
brought it
so
up.
it's hard to get older. 'Cause I don't feel my age.
Yeah, it's the O
I don't
shot.
feel like I have a lot of people that I can relate to.
Oh, wow.
This room?
My age, yeah, y'all.
Yeah. What'd you say about the room the other day? You had some choice words. Around a lot of dicks all
Me?
day.
Yeah, I did say that all day.
Just dicks everywhere.
Dicks everywhere, honestly. So
Oh,
I was saying
they're
like
here.
I enjoyed my New York getaway with just girls.
Just the
'cause it was
gals?
Just girls, no dicks.
Cycle up.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying, there's a
What
lot
are
of
you trying to say?
testosterone around me all day, every day.
That's right.
That's all.
I took that personal. You were going to watch Zion tonight, maybe?
Maybe.
I am going tonight. To
I kind of feel like Big
Pelicans
Z
game,
can play.
I think he
don't think
might.
that they will.
Ingram's not, but
I mean,
so
now that
we're
he's got the
Ingram shirt.
contract, no need to treat him with the glass
he's fine.
gloves
I
anymore.
would say that's
right?
even more reason.
I
I
think
mean,
he's
what?
fine.
We're in game 3, game 4. If he needs to take a break,
I mean, he
take a
fell on
break.
his hip.
Yeah.
I know. Don't.
He's okay.
They're just being careful, but
They
I think
always
he's
gotta be
fine.
careful with
Fingers
old
crossed,
Zion.
I'm going to see him play tonight because I'm going to be disappointed.
Luka and Zion. Maybe 3 years from now, the two faces of the league.
Hmm.
2 years from now, over and
Luka,
under.
Zion.
Bronny
Ja
James
Morant.
Jr., LeBron.
John Morant.
And so LeBron will still be there. He'll be 40.
Yeah. LeBron's gonna like trade the whole Lakers.
Bronny's blowing up.
He is blowing up.
He's a player coach.
He is a player. People hate to admit it, but he's a player.
Yeah, I don't know why they wanted to drag him.
They wanted him to be so bad.
Why are people so mad about him?
Because who his dad is.
I love his dad.
They hate LeBron though. People hate LeBron.
People hate LeBron.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, you're the
I'm
minority.
not surprised. Like, I know a lot of people hate him, but they're jealous.
Well, he's
Just like Tom
outspoken.
Brady.
That's what happens to outspoken athletes.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Michael Jordan kept his mouth shut.
Mm-hmm.
Republicans buy shoes too. It's a famous quote.
Everybody wants CJs.
Yeah, I ain't saying shit. Y'all just want the
Yeah,
swoosh.
right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Jump man. But when we have Hold the Rope tonight, 6 to 8.
Yeah.
There you go.
Tommy Christens,
TK baby.
back in the house.
How we
How many
feeling?
sandwiches you getting tonight?
Oh, dude, I gotta sprint to the Rouse's tray. I don't want the egg salad. I want the ham and I want the turkey.
Save
What do
me
they
the egg
have?
salad.
Pimento cheese, egg salad.
They do they get the little sandwich platter. That's
It's an assortment.
I think there's 24 sandwiches between.
Any chips for the crunch?
No chips for the crunch. No sandwiches left over, really.
pass, Coach.
Between 3 people, it's impressive. I don't think they realize that they're eating. If it's 24 pieces, that's essentially you're eating like 6 sandwiches.
Yeah,
so
you don't
I don't think they're
realize
doing
that
the
for a
math
finger
on
sandwich.
how much they're eating.
Just shoveling.
If it wasn't, if they weren't cut up for them, then I don't think they would sit down and house.
Lloyd, this
3
Diet Coke is
sandwiches.
room temperature.
Yeah.
Do something with this.
Ooh, I see, I need
Plus,
that.
the crust is cut off. That makes it seem smaller
Yeah.
somehow.
There's a theory out there. If you cut everything into 4s, people will eat more of it.
I agree with
I
that.
love
I
a finger
agree.
sandwich,
Or
though.
finger sized.
Yeah, just anything that seems
Yeah.
bite-sized, you don't really realize what you're eating.
Absolutely.
You're just like,
Like
oh,
the
I just
peanut
had 2 whole
M&Ms in there.
sandwiches.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The peanut M&Ms being
Jeez,
the
I'll
greatest
walk by and
example.
just scoop.
Every single time.
All the time. I can't stop.
Stewie left the microphones on the last
Like
time
a
the peanut
fucking
M&Ms.
front end loader.
Hey,
We're just doing a show. Stewie got him. He's like, oh, I just wanted to get some M&Ms. So I was like, hey, we're doing a
They
show.
They call you, man.
Yeah.
They do.
You can't walk past them.
yeah. You walk
Especially a
past and
full
they're like,
jar of them.
I know. I want them right now.
So do I.
they're
We'll be
calling.
back tomorrow.
We gotta go, y'all. We gotta
M&M
go
party.
eat
M&M in the freezer.
Give me the greens.
I hide mine. I hide mine in the freezer.
Yeah,
A
not
cold
anymore.
thing's cold.
Nah.
We
You
know
gotta
they're
find a
in
new
there now.
spot. I found them.
New freezer.
We'll be back tomorrow, 7 to 9 a.m. Get your questions.
We had, who did we have one mic'd up yesterday? The Saints field reporter, beat reporter,
Eileen.
Eileen. I don't know how to say her last name. It's
I'm not sure either.
Hnatiuk.
Wow.
Regardless.
Hynuk?
Hynuk? Natuk?
Hanuk?
Something like that. Regardless, she's allergic to shellfish.
Write it on the whitebord, Jamil. Let me see it.
Oh, that sucks
Use it in a
to be
sentence.
allergic to shellfish, especially living
And she
here.
was like coughing a
allergic.
ton. And she was like, y'all don't have like shellfish here. And I was like, we have oysters in the freezer. She's like, that could totally be it. I was like, there is no
there's
way
no way.
that
No
you're
way.
that allergic. They're
No.
frozen in the freezer. She's like, I don't know. She
They're
was
like-
like, my throat's closing
they're
up. And I
like
was like, oh my
vacuum
God.
sealed.
What?
We're
There's
having
no
a
way.
problem.
It's probably shrimp in the garbage can from one of our fresh chef meals. So I bet.
I don't like the
What
way
a
you said that.
Terrible
Me?
place to be allergic to
And
shellfish.
she didn't bring her
I know.
EpiPen.
Oh.
Wow.
be-
So what happens if she codes on the floor? What are we going to
We
do?
had to give her mouth to mouth on the stream.
Everybody
Really-
elbowing?
yeah,
right.
it's really unfortunate.
Let me go first.
I'm certified.
I'm going to save her life.
Everybody take a turn.
I was the hero, Eileen.
I'll do chest compressions.
Um,
Like the kid from
I think it's
Sandlot.
Natuk.
I think so.
I think the H is silent.
Not to. Not to.
Hana.
I'm sure she appreciates that.
Hanatiuk.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey,
I'm going Natuk.
all publicity is good
I'm
publicity.
going Natuk.
But I'm glad.
Like Matuk. Natuk and Matuk.
Her dad was a professional golfer, Glenn.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Glenn
Yeah,
Natuk.
yeah, she's a volleyball player, but we almost killed her, so I'm glad she's not
Wow.
dead
Jeez,
here.
y'all.
What a hustler on the scramble tour.
Oh, I bet.
God.
I bet he's not being Glenn Natuk.
No
It's-
doubt.
Yeah, just hey, how y'all doing?
Everybody met Glenn?
Yeah.
We'll hit first.
Yeah, he's
Go
on
ahead,
my team.
Glenn.
He's 5'8",
right.
$170.
Wow, look at that, Glenn. Where'd you learn how to do that?
I've played forever.
You were duck hooking them on the range.
Oh, you want to know I won 3 times on the Nike
Yeah,
tour?
right. Enjoy the day, boys.
Yep. All right.
All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow, 7 to 9 a.m. Get your questions in tomorrow's voicemail and mailbag day.
Yep. Leave a voicemail. Clip from the parish.
Driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Talk to you tomorrow morning. M&M's.
Birthday, Jamil.